Hello everybody, welcome back to Reading for Vocabulary. How are you doing today? We're going to start with a new book. We're going to learn a lot of good lessons in the new book. We're looking at Level D. Yay! Okay, so as you know, you've probably studied with me already. We've talked about Reading for Vocabulary Level A, right? Remember that? Then we went on to Level B. Then we went to Level C. So we've completed these 3 books already. Now we're going to learn the lessons from Reading for Vocabulary Level D. Yay! Okay. After that, we can continue our studying with RV plus Level A. So you can see our progression is going up, right? I hope that your reading skill and that your English skill is improving like this. Okay, well, let's get started. I hope to see you in Level D soon. Hello, are you ready to begin with Level D in Reading for Vocabulary? This book has many different subjects that we are going to study. For example, we will study science. We'll learn some subjects or we'll learn some topics about science. We'll also take a look at social studies, right? Looking around the world and society. We'll also take a look at health, right? What's healthy for you? We'll also take a look at fine arts because that's an important part of our lives, isn't it? And of course, math. I'm sorry, but we should also take a look at math too. Math can be exciting, right? And hopefully we can study it in an exciting way. Also, we'll take a look at entertainment. I know that you are excited about that, aren't you? Okay, well, these are the subjects that we will cover in Level D, Reading for Vocabulary. Hey kids, how are you doing? It's nice to see you again. My name is Brian Stewart and we are here to study from Reading for Vocabulary. We're starting in Level D on Unit 1. And our subject is architecture. That's a little bit of a difficult word, isn't it? Architecture. Architecture. Our Lesson 1, the title is A Dream Job. So when we think about that, what we're going to focus on is what do you want to do in the future? Have you thought about that? Let's think about the job architect. Architect. Okay? So that's what we're going to study in this lesson. Let's begin. Of course, there are many different jobs. Look at all these jobs. Can you find the different names of the jobs? We don't have time to go over all of them, but we can just quickly, we can see there's a doctor, all right, maybe there's a lawyer over here, there's an electrician over here. There are many different kinds of jobs. When you think about your future, what kind of job do you want? Well, we're going to talk about one exciting job in this lesson, okay? But let's talk about a few vocabulary words first. As you can see here, a quick basic drawing. Can you draw something like this? Are you a talented artist? If you can draw like this, you can make a sketch. This is a sketch. It's a quick basic drawing. Now, this doesn't look too basic. This looks a little complicated, but a quick drawing of something like your house, a building, your school, that's a sketch. Okay, let's move on. This next word is to decide how something will look or work. When people sit down and they start to think about how to draw something, what are they doing, right? We can say that that is design. Design. We can use it as a verb or as a noun. What is the design of the building? Or he is going to design the building. So we can use it as a verb or a noun. A plan for making something. So this looks very complicated. This is not a sketch. This is a very detailed drawing, but it's a plan for making something. We call it a blueprint. Why is it blue? Because the paper that they draw on has a blue color, and it's very technical. It's very detailed drawings of something. We say it's a blueprint. A blueprint, very technical or detailed drawing of a building. Okay, next one. Do you have a knife like that? It's a Swiss Army knife, right? What something is used for. What is something used for? We can say, what is its function? If we look at this knife, there are many different parts, right? This has a different function from this. This knife, its function is just to cut. This pliers, its function is to hold something very tightly, right? So many things have different functions. What is the function of this tool? Okay, let's move on. Oh, warning, you shouldn't smoke. Of course you don't now. Don't smoke in the future, right? A rule or law, no smoking. We see signs like this many different places, right? No smoking. 주차 금지, right? No parking, right? So we can say that's a regulation. So we can call it a rule, a law, or regulation. That's a 힘들어 word, right? Regulation, regulation. Okay, let's move on. Someone who works with the law. Okay, as you know, we were talking about jobs before. I pointed out somebody, right? That was a lawyer, right? He was on the side over there. A lawyer is someone who argues for or against a position in a court of law. So they are called a lawyer. There's somebody who argues for something. There's someone who argues against something. There's two lawyers usually in a courtroom, at least two. Okay, next one. Whoa, what kind of crazy guy is that? He's got 4 arms. Okay, the state of being focused and working hard. He doesn't really have 4 arms. He's just really busy. It looks like he has 4 arms. Whew, it's a monster, right? Okay. Next, this word is dedication. If somebody is so focused on their work, they have a lot of focus. And sometimes when you do your homework, you're like this, right? You're very focused on your homework. You want to do a good job. You have a lot of dedication. Okay? That's like 열심, but also energy and hard work. It's dedication. Okay, next one. Something that could happen. Okay, something that could happen. This is a little bit of a dangerous position, right? Possibility. It's possible that she could fall off. This is not a good idea. Okay, so it's a possibility, something that could happen. But also, maybe she's reading about interesting stories, and she's thinking, is it possible that this could happen? Maybe there's a knight that she's thinking about. Oh, there's a knight in shining armor. It's possible that one day I could meet that person, right? So it's a possibility. What's possible in the future? The next word. Have you been to one of these? Do you like baseball? Do you like soccer? If you go to a sports game, you will go to a large open building where people watch sports. I hope you have the opportunity to go to a place like this. What is this? What kind of building is it? It's called a sports stadium. So we use 2 words, sports stadium. Okay, so if you go there, you can watch your favorite baseball team or your favorite soccer team. Okay. Wow, this looks like it's in Australia, right? The road is very straight and doesn't curve, and it's very long. We can see really far. Having no end. If something has no end, there's no end. We say it's endless because this, I'll do that right there. This part of the word, when you see that less, it means it doesn't have one. Endless. There's no end. Okay? Endless. The next one, a sudden dangerous situation. Okay, of course this is an ambulance. Looks like somebody is hurt. What do we call that situation? We say it's an emergency. It is an emergency. Emergency. We can also use emergency as an adjective. It's an emergency vehicle. It's an emergency worker. This is emergency services. So emergency can be a noun. It is an emergency, or it can be an adjective. It is emergency services. Okay, let's move on. To do the same as. Of course, this is Mama Duck, and she has her baby ducks behind her. What do baby ducks? All birds, right, really do this. When Mama Duck is walking along, all the little birds, what do? They follow Mama Duck, right? To follow. If you do the same thing as somebody else, you are following them. To follow. Okay, next one. Maybe. Okay, put together in a smart and simple way. So this person is putting together kind of a complicated diagram, but he's thinking about how he puts it together. So he's thinking about it in a smart way, and he's trying to make it simple. So what can we call that? We say that's organized. Organized is an adjective. These plans are very organized, right? We can also call people organized. Maybe you know somebody in school who is organized. They have all their books in the right place, all their pens in the other place. They're very neat. They're very organized. Okay, next. Someone who designs buildings and machines. So this is a type of job. This person is designing maybe a building or a machine. What do we call that person? We say that that person is an engineer. Engineer. So that person is an engineer. Next one is working hard and completing a lot of work. If you work really hard and you get a lot of work done, what can we say? We can say you are productive. Productive. You're productive. Are you productive? At night, do you do all your homework really quickly, or do you play games? Okay, if you play games, you are not productive. But if you study hard and you get your work done, then you are productive. Okay. Next one is sad and having no energy. This person is happy. She has a lot of energy, but these people are not. They're sad. What's going on? They are depressed, right? They're sad about something. If something happens and it makes you sad, or it makes you feel not very good, we can say that you are depressed. I hope that you don't get depressed. If you do get depressed, just think about the happy side. Just think, tomorrow is a new day. Something good will happen. So hopefully we aren't depressed very long. Okay. Now, let's begin with the exercises, okay? How well do you remember the words we just learned? Let's go over them. In this exercise, we need to choose the word that best completes the sentence. Our word choices are here, and we need to fill the blank with these word choices. So, what is a sentence? The sentence, in this case, number 1, do you think you could beep our poster for art class? So, what we're thinking about here is you're going to be able to do something. Can you beep our poster for art class? We need a verb. Some of these are verbs, but some of them are nouns. But we need a verb here because we want to do something to our poster for art class. What will you do? If you are a creative person, maybe somebody wants you to create or make an art poster, a poster for art class. So which word is similar to make or create? A, listen. That doesn't make sense. You want to listen to a poster? That doesn't make sense. B, function. Function's a noun. It doesn't make sense here. Design. Design has the same meaning as make or create. That's our answer, right? Blueprint, as I said before, that's a noun, right? So you don't blueprint a poster, you design a poster. So that's the answer. Do you think you could design our poster for art class? Okay, that's the answer there. How about number 2? The question is, or the sentence is, I looked at your beep of the whale. It's really good for a new artist. So somebody did something, right? They made something that shows a whale. If you draw something or you make something, a picture, right, of an object, we can say that that is a picture or a drawing. Or what is similar to drawing here? We have a blueprint. You make a blueprint of a whale? No, because blueprint is for buildings, right? You don't make a blueprint of an animal. That's kind of weird. You make a blueprint of a building if you're an architect or somebody who designs buildings. B, sketch. We talked about this before. A sketch is a basic drawing. So if you very quickly draw a picture of a whale, that is a sketch, and that's the answer, B. What are the other ones? C, site. Site is just a location, right? Site is like a place. That doesn't fit here. A place of the whale, that doesn't make sense. I looked at your emergency of the whale. That doesn't make sense at all, right? So the only one that makes sense is sketch. I looked at your sketch of the whale. It's really good for a new artist. That's our answer there. Let's move on to number 3. The question for number 3 is the beep of the skull is to protect the brain. So remember when we talked about that Swiss Army knife that had many different tools, and we talked about what is the use of each of those tools? Everything has a use, or what? Let's take a look here. A blueprint. The skull, of course, is the bone in your head, right? It's the hard bone. What does it do, right? Do we talk about the blueprint of the skull is to protect the brain? That doesn't make sense. Do we talk about the location of the skull? That doesn't make sense either. Do we talk about the sketch of the skull? We're not talking about a drawing of somebody's head. We're talking about the use or the function. What is its use? You have a skull. It's a hard bone in your head. You can feel it right now if you want to with me, right? It's pretty hard. What does it do? It protects your brain. Your brain is inside your skull. It needs protection. So the skull's function is to protect the brain. So the function of the skull is to protect the brain. That's the function. Okay, number 4. Your son broke the law. Oh, no! That's terrible. Okay? You need a beep. Okay, so if somebody breaks the law, right, that person goes to court. And what do we find in court? Remember, there's 2 people, one for and one against, right? What type of person do you need to help your son? Do you need an engineer? No, an engineer makes buildings and machines, right? So that's not appropriate. We need a lawyer. Remember we talked about lawyer. Lawyers are the people in court, one for and one against. One is for the client, one is against the client or the person who broke the law. So we need a lawyer. I hope not, but if our son breaks the law, then we need a lawyer. C is artist and D is architect, right? An artist just draws pictures. We don't need them. They can't help us. An architect designs buildings, so they can't help us. We need a lawyer. Okay. So that's the answer there. Your son broke the law. You need a lawyer. Okay, let's continue from number 5. There are many beep to follow when you drive a car. Now, of course, you don't drive a car, but if your mom or dad is driving a car and you're riding, remember, look at the signs on the side of the road. It says speed limit, don't go too fast. It says you can't turn this way. Those are rules or laws of the road. What is another word that means rule or law? Let's take a look. Well, A is regulations. That's our answer there, regulations. So the answer is there are many regulations to follow when you drive a car. Not sketches, not emergencies, and sports stadiums. That doesn't make any sense. The best answer is regulations. There are many regulations to follow when you drive a car. 6, if Jim had more beep, he would do better in school. What does Jim need to do better in school? What do you need to do better in school? Does Jim need more anger? No, don't be angry, Jim. Don't take that to school, right? Get rid of it. Does he need depression? No, I hope Jim is not depressed, right? If he's sad, he won't do well in school. Does Jim need more anxiety? Anxiety means worry. Now, maybe if Jim worried more, he would do better in school. That's possible, but a better answer is dedication, right? So the better answer is dedication. Dedication means enthusiasm, yulshim, right? He needs energy. He needs dedication. He needs to focus on his work. If he had more dedication, he would do better in school. I hope you have dedication too, right? Okay, let's move on to it's dedication, of course. If Jim had more dedication, he would do better in school. Let's move on to number 7. There is a beep that it will rain tomorrow. So when we're talking about tomorrow, there are many things that could happen tomorrow. Rain is one of those things that it could happen. So when we talk about things that could happen, we are talking about what? Are we talking about a site? No, remember, site is a location, a place. So it's not site. Is it possibility? Yes. Possibility means something could happen. There is a possibility. It is possible. I just used that word in a different way. You can do that. It is possible. Okay? So this word, you can use it in different ways. We say there is a possibility, that's noun. It is possible, that's adjective, right? So we use it in different ways, and these are very common ways to use that word. Okay, so there is a possibility that it will rain tomorrow. Okay, number 8. The beep for the new school is almost finished. I'll send it to you when I'm done. This second sentence is important. Why? Because we're talking about something for the new school. Before a school is built, you have to draw the design of that school. What are we looking at? We're looking at the function for the new school. That doesn't make sense. The site, that could be. The site for the new school is almost finished. The location, right? Maybe they paved the ground. But the next sentence, I'll send it to you? How are you going to send a huge piece of ground to somebody? That doesn't make sense. Next word is blueprint. The blueprint, the drawings. You can send drawings, that's no problem. So blueprint is right. The blueprint, the design, the plans for the new school, the blueprint is almost finished. I'll send it to you, no problem. Not the sports stadium. Again, you can't send a sports stadium in the mail. They won't take it. Okay, but the best answer, of course, is blueprint. The blueprint for the new school is almost finished. I'll send it to you when I'm done. Okay, well, that wraps up the vocabulary section of this unit. Let's take a short break. We'll come back and look at the reading.